Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King 2, and today I'm going to be giving you part 5 of What If Naruto Was the God of Space and Time and Will. Remember to get this one to 100 like as usual, share this to all of your friends in social media platform, and also guys, go ahead and check out the brand new episode of What If Naruto Was created by the Asusuke clan over an Anime Making 3, and I enjoyed that guys. And also remember, if you're new and this is the first time hearing my voice, go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all of your help and your support. Remember to comment down below and tell me if you're new. I'll be replying talking back to all of you. And yeah, stay tuned for a brand new episode coming over in Making as well. And yeah, without further ado, what do you say begin this new episode? Start the intro. So, the last time we left off, as Naruto was in the forest with Sakura and Sasuke, as Sakura asked him about how his life was in Konoha, so Naruto decided to tell her everything, as he told them, believe no more of the gruesome stuff, as some of his memories were sealed away by Yamanaka, so it would not affect him that badly, as Harrison made that call, which is a good thing because probably he would not be the same if those memories got released. It was then that a massive gale appeared and tried to hit them away, as Naruto was attacked by a dozen snakes and a large one. He sliced the snake in half as he rushed back to where his teammates were, but Orochimaru had already done what he came here to do. Knowing that Naruto would be a problem, he bit Sasuke rather quickly, implanting the curse mark. As both him and Naruto fought, as Orochimaru seemed to know him as well, they clashed and destroyed the area as Orochimaru managed to get the one up on Naruto as he bit him right in the neck, as Naruto slashed him across the face, forcing him to flee. But Naruto collapsed as his neck started to pulsate with a mark. But that was a really bad thing to do. Sakura took them away as she started to protect them. It was then that she got attacked by the Sound team as she fought, as she would not let anything happen to either of them as she fought with everything she got till Lee arrived, but he got taken down by those two as well, because of the gauntlet on his arm. It was then that Sasuke woke up and started to beat the living crap out of them, taking down Zaku, but before he could do anything too damaging, Naruto woke up. The entire world, and the world beyond, the normal world, hell and heaven, they felt it. The Jobe was once a god, and his power was able to control time and space and will itself, and that power had been reborn. Orochimaru's snake had broken a memory seal that was placed on Naruto, and all those memories unlocked. It brought forward such pain and rage that Naruto pushed forward his transformation, something that wasn't supposed to happen as he was the reincarnate of the beast itself. The power, it flowed through him. The power that he's supposed to have when he was 16 years old rushed on his young body here as Naruto grew. His powers exploded out the forest, frightening everyone by the sheer weight and amount. As Naruto emerged, he was like a totally different beast, as he completely destroyed the Sound members. Kin begged for her life, as he allowed the girl to go. As Naruto was released in such an ominous aura, Sasuke was forced to attack him, as the curse mark just clashed against Naruto and what he was. But Naruto removed the mark and destroyed Sasuke within a second as he knocked him unconscious. He told Sakura to move as they moved. They made their way towards the tower as Naruto seemed to calm down, collapsing. He woke up in a bed as he met the Jobe in his mind, the god, as he was the heir to the power. All the memories made Naruto so much more angry at Konoha and the citizens, and it made him hate his parents even more. So 5 days passed as all of them arrived, as Naruto saw his parents looking at him, but he ignored them. He didn't really give a damn about them. His siblings were naive, but they had nothing to do with this. so he didn't hate them as much as he hated his parents. Because of the odd number, 3 people will be fighting at once, so with that the 3 matches started out. As Sasuke was able to defeat Choji, while Choji didn't really want to fight him, and another ninja that was able to perform illusions rather quickly, as his hand signs were just top notch. The rest of the matches went off as Naruto watched each and every one of them, calculating their strengths and their powers, as Haku made her way down there, as she faced off against Akisaki and Yujito as well. The both of them end up teaming up for a split second. It wasn't really a good team up, but they just worked together as they took out Akisaki. Both girls had turned their sights on each other. As powerful and as fast as Haku was, Yujito was different, as she was far more powerful, and not to mention she also possessed the 2 tails, as Naruto could sense it from where he was, as he could sense the power of the Nibi inside of her, as she won the match after performing a rather powerful technique that burned away all of Haku's ice mirrors. Naruto also saw his younger sister fought as well, and he had to give her props. She was quite skilled, and not to mention her quick moving info in jutsu. Yes, he had to give her that, she was quite skilled. So yeah guys, so basically that's what I thought. You guys can switch across the place and check it out for yourself. So what do you say we begin this new episode? Let's get right into this, guys. The Genins were still gawking at the match that just proceeded with Haku and Yujito. The next match was Sakura Haruno versus Ino Yamanaka and Inori Odehime. As Naruto looked at the Odehime girl, she stood at 5 feet 2 inches. She had brown eyes and orange hair. She had a rather curvaceous figure, but what caught Naruto's attention was her chest, as those could only be rivaled by the ones that Tsunade Senju had, he thought. She wore a white battle dress. As she looked at him, he did not turn his gaze away, as she blushed a bit before she turned back towards her opponents. He remembered what he was told, as his instincts started to act up, but he pressed them back down, as the proctor told him to begin with a cough. Odehime looked towards her opponents, as both girls were looking at each other with sparks shooting from their eyes. They immediately charged, as they started a taijutsu match. They threw punch, kicks, and kunais. They seemed evenly matched until Ino swept away Sakura's leg. She then kicked her in the stomach, knocking her away, as Sakura rolled in pain before she got up. She created 5 clones of herself, as Ino used kunais and shurikens as they disappeared, as Sakura kept on spamming the illusional clones, as Ino dispelled them one after another until Sakura closed in and punched her in the face. Ino stumbled back as she threw a few shurikens towards her. Sakura jumped back as she dodged each and every one of them. Ino then launched 2 kunais. Sakura was about to dodge, but Ino used her mind transfer jutsu and held her in place. She then returned back to her body as Sakura tried to dodge, but they were too close. As she gasped in pain as she was hit, Ino rushed forward and headbutted her, but she staggered back as blood flew from her head. But Sakura fell unconscious from the pain of the kunais and the headbutt, as Ino wiped the blood away as it dripped down towards her face. She then turned towards the other, BAM! A strange glowing orb slammed right in her forehead as Ino collapsed unconscious, as Odehime had her arm extended. Odehime walked over as she poked Ino a bit. She then smiled awkwardly. Proctor-san, I think she's out, she said, as Hayate nodded. Winner, Inori Odehime, he said, as they were given a 5 minutes break before they called the other match. Naruto closed his eyes until he heard, "Excuse me," as he opened his eyes to see Odehime. "Congratulations on your match," he said. "Why, thank you," she said. She then looked at him as her head was tilted down. "Are you Uzumaki Naruto?" As Naruto nodded. "It's a pleasure to meet you," she said as she introduced herself. Naruto took her arm and kissed it. "It's a pleasure to meet you, Odehime-chan," he said, causing her to blush madly. She simply nodded as she poked her fingers together. Good luck in your match," she said, as she rushed off with a smile on her face. But Naruto was curious though. That name, Inoue. Where had he heard that before? He didn't know. It just sounds so familiar. Hayate coughed as the 5 minutes came to an end. Alright, the next match will be, as the board flipped through names before it came to a stop, Sabuku no Kankuro, Menma, and a woman known as Rias. As Naruto was taken aback by how beautiful she was. She was one of the most amazing women that he's ever seen before. She had an amazing body. It looked angelic to him. She was wearing a red skirt, connected to a white and purple shirt, with white stockings, and her brown boots. Her casual clothing draws some confusion, but Moses stares. As she walked, her eyes met Naruto, as she gave him a wink. As Naruto's body was going crazy just looking at her. But a part of him felt something was off her power. It felt unnatural. The proctor said begin with another cough. This was about his 160th cough so far. Menma, a boy of medium height, with maroon hair and brown eyes, wearing a blue bodysuit with silver armor, and Kankuro whistled as he looked towards Reyes. That guy was the third member on Naruto's sister team. As he approached her, "Hey babe," he said. "How about you and I have some fun later on?" He wiggled his eyebrows. She smirked as she brought her finger up and motioned for him to come. As he walked towards her with a smile on his face, she then vanished out of nowhere. She then appeared behind him and snapped her finger. The girl in Ramenma stood exploded in a bright light. Once it calmed down, only Ash stood there. She then turned to Kankuro, her hand lighting up with red energy. Kankuro backed away as he raised his hand. "I surrender," he cried out. As Reyes simply smirked, the energy disappearing as everyone was shocked. As Hayate called, "Winner!" Reyes. She walked past Naruto as she made her way up. She gave him a smile as he smiled back. But that power, it felt like the power of a Biju. But no, it was more condensed, more destructive, more powerful. It wasn't an aura either. And there was no holy being that uses power in the open like that. Could she perhaps be a meta-human possessing inhuman energy? I will need to learn some more during the finals, he thought. His mind was caught from his train of thought when he heard Hayate call out, "Kurosaki, Sesame Fuma, and Neji Hyuga." As Naruto blinked at that name, Afuma? She had long orange hair and brown eyes. She would look like a relative to Orihime if her figure wasn't that of a child. Yet again, she isn't older than 13. She wore a violet sleeveless shirt, olive shorts, and blue hat. Kurosaki crossed her arms with a smirk as Neji fell into his gentle fist stance. "Begin," Hayate said. Neji was the first to act as he rushed towards Sesame, hoping to take her out in one attack. He thrust a palm towards her chest, but she substituted. She reappeared as she sent kunais towards him. He blocked them, one of his own, and rushed towards her, but he had to dodge a great fireball from Kurosaki. He frowned as he rushed towards her. She rushed towards him as well. Her hands were coated in rock. She thrust her fist forward as Neji dodged, as he struck the rock on her arm. As the both of them clashed like that, as Sesame started to go through a large amount of hand signs. As they fought, she started to go through hand signs after hand signs. Once she reached a proper finish, she slammed her hands together. "Bringer of darkness." The both of them were alerted, but it was too late. Suddenly, Kurosaki and Neji's vision was covered in a field of darkness. Neji tried to use his Byakugan only to find out that it was not working, much to his shock. Both him and Kurosaki then felt a slash at their bicep, causing them to gasp out in pain. Neji then felt a stab in his palm. Kurosaki then felt one on her right leg. Even with their other sense, they could not find her, as the hits kept on going, one after another. Neji had enough as he twisted his feet. 8 trichograms. Rotation! Sesame, who was close to hit him, blew back from the force. As Kurosaki flashed through hand sign, Earth release, Earth Dragon Bullet! The dragon slammed into the rotation as the genjutsu broke when Sesame fell to the ground. Kurosaki seeing the girl down, she wouldn't want her to do that again, so she rushed towards her. But Sesame launched several kunais with explosive tags. Earth style. "Earthstone Wall!" said Kurosaki as she created an Earth Wall. Neji sent out a force of chakra that blasted the kunais away as they exploded. Both of them then attacked her, forcing her on the defensive. She tried to keep up, but she was overpowered by the combined assault. As Neji closed off a few of her chakra points, Kurosaki then drove a fist under her chin, sending her straight up into the air. As Neji flashed right in front of her and palm struck her in the chest, she crashed into the stone wall. It was at that moment Kurosaki appeared behind Neji. He turned, but she stabbed him right in the rib. As Neji gasped, spatting out blood, He pushed her off as he flipped and landed on the ground, gripping his side. She flashed through hand sign, water style, water torrent. He tried to move, but with his wounded side, he wasn't fast enough as the water slammed right into him with a great deal of force. His body crashed into the wall. When the water cleared away, the proctor checked. Winner! As Neji was knocked unconscious, Kurasuke, as she calmly made her way. As Naruto was thinking something as he saw her move. She was not an average genin. She was a lot powerful than a normal chunin to be exact. She can use taijutsu with finesse, and she can command 3 chakra natures. And that Fuma clan member was also capable as well. Her strategy was flawless, but she should have went for the kill, or attack a point that would send them unconscious. If she had done that, she would have won. Oh well, it was time for the next match. Inuzaka Kiba, Naruto Namikaze, and Naruko Uzumaki. As Naruto glanced towards her brother, but Naruto paid her no mind as he made his way down there. As the 3 of them form a triangle formation. Alright, begin, Hayate said. Kiba looked towards Akamaru. You won't need to be here, Akamaru, he said. Sit nearby until I fight with Namikaze girl. He then turned to Naruto. You loser, he said. Do us all a favor and just give up, he said, with a smirk. But Naruto ignored him, as Naruto then smirked. I agree, big brother, she said. I know that you're strong, but there's no way that you can defeat me, she said. Up in the stands, Hiruzen, Kakashi, Sasuke, Shikamaru had one thought in their head. Well, there goes the chance to avoid a bloodbath. As Naruto Banks came down, covering his face, he started to chuckle. That chuckle turned into a full-blown laughter as he threw his head back, laughing rather loudly. A wicked grin on his face. The ground around him started to crack and break apart as dark golden chakra rolled off him like a wave. As he kept on laughing, Kiba slammed right into the ground unconscious. As few of the genin started to fall as well, the power was just too much. The senseis and the Hokage started to sweat. No match, you say, said Naruto as his eyes started to glow. Why don't we put that fear to the test, shall we? He then blurred out of sight. Suddenly, Naruto felt her nose break as she was thrown and crashed into the wall. As Naruto reappeared, I was gonna use the Gakin here, or if I fought you and your sister, the Flying Swallow. It seemed fitting to be defeated by your precious father style. However, said Naruto as he dropped into a stance that made many of the Jonin shock and Hiruzen eyes widen in fear. You made me change my mind. I haven't used this style for 2 years now. It's bound to make a spectacle. As Naruto moved, she moved out of the way. His fist destroyed the wall as she jumped, but his foot came up and slammed her out of the sky as she crashed into the ground. She picked herself up as a hand slammed into her face, throwing her away. He then appeared below her and kicked her straight up in the sky before he appeared behind her and sent a low kick that dropped her from the heavens. He appeared before she could fall as he delivered 3 devastating blows to her stomach. Blood exploded from her mouth. Up in the stands, Minato tightly held onto the railing, sweat leaking from his forehead, fear in his eyes. He had told Naruto during the break not to aggravate Naruto, but yet she had just told him that he was straight up weaker than her. He knew that Naruto was strong from what he heard, probably as strong as him. He only prayed that he would not go too far. Cushion on the other hand held her mouth in fear as tears pooled down her eyes. She felt flashback of her times with Naruto. Then she saw Naruto in the village all alone. As she was getting beaten up, she cried out, "Stop it, son! Please stop it!" she yelled. As Sarutobi stood there, he didn't want Naruto to kill her, but he could not stop him. As Naruto yelled, "Rising Dragon!" As she came down, she was hit by so many blows. She had no idea where they were even coming from as she couldn't even see properly. He then turned and slammed her into the wall. As he started to march towards it, everything around the wall exploded as red chakra exploded out of the hole. As Naruto did not move, his hair blowing back behind him. As a hand gripped the wall as she pulled herself out, her nails had turned to claws. Red chakra surrounded her form as 3 tails waved behind her. She roared, as a massive explosion came out of that roar, shattering everything as it slammed right into Naruto, yet he did not even move. A sick smile came on his face. As he dashed towards her, she rushed forward as well. She swiped her claws, but he dodged and drove his fist in her face. Her head snapped back, but she pulled herself forward and slammed her fist into his chest as he caught her hand before lifting her up and bringing her down. But she lashed out her leg and kicked him right in the face as he staggered back a bit. She then jumped at him, but he backhanded her out of the air as he appeared before she could crash, as he kicked her right in the face, launching her backwards. He then aimed his open palm towards her as a golden blast shot from his palm and slammed into her. He then appeared and gripped her by the throat. He then released a large wave of chakra as the world around them turned white. Naruto opened her eyes, groaning as she blinked slowly, trying to remember what happened. All she could remember was pain and nothingness. But then memories of the battle, her and her three-tailed state, came back to her. She was surprised that Naruto handled her like it was nothing. She then glanced down as she was tied in black chains. She turned as she saw that the chains came from Naruto's back. "Good, you're awake," he said. He then glanced up towards the fox. She turned as her eyes widened. The cage was gone, and so was the seal. In the place of the enormous nine-tailed fox, there was a small fox that was the size of a dog. It also looked scared. So, look how the almighty, powerful Kitsune, the leader of the demonic Kitsune, has fallen. I don't blame you though. Instead, I congratulate you for not warning dear Naruto here of who I really am. Now, I can't give you a choice. Give me what I came for freely, and I will let you live another day. And I'll even give you a gift. If you try to stop me, you will die. So what do you say, Kurama? The no-identified Kurama widened his eyes. He then bowed his head. I am under your command, he said. A large orb of red energy came out of its body and flew towards Naruto as he caught it, and it went inside of him. As Naruto smirked and released a burst of power, his chakra turned darker. He then sent a pulse towards the fox. The fox then started to glow as it started to feel pain. He then turned to Naruto. Once I leave your body, you will fall unconscious. Be lucky I won't kill you. I won't kill your sister either, as long as neither of you stand in my way. Tell your sister to give up her match, or I will break her just like I did you. She looked up towards him. What about mom and dad, she said, as Naruto turned towards her with a look of pure anger and rage. The next time you mention them in front of my face like they did nothing, I will kill you, he said. As for them, they will pay. He then turned towards Kurama. You know what to do, Kurama. As the fox nodded as Naruto was gone. In the real world, it happened so fast as Naruto touched her on the stomach. The cloak around her vanished as Naruto roared to the heavens, releasing a shockwave of power as lightning crackled around his body. As Naruto fell unconscious, Naruto smirked as he clenched his fist and opened it. As Naruto then glanced towards the proctor, it took him a few seconds to realize as Kiba had passed out before the match could even start properly. Winner, Naruto Namikaze, he said, as Naruto made his way back up and ignored everyone, making his way as he sat down and closed his eyes. After the arena was fixed, the next match was Yakumo, Kurama, Hinata Hyuga, and Suigetsu Hoshiki. Begin! Hinata and Yakumo nodded slightly at each other. As Hinata rushed towards Suigetsu, she threw a jab at him. Her eyes widened as her arm pierced right through his arm, but instead of blood there was only water. She then dodged back thanks to her Byakugan, dodging a kick from Suigetsu. He pulled out his blade as he blocked several kunais, courtesy of Yakumo. She frowned and pulled out a notebook along with the ink brush. Hinata, stall him, she said, as she started to draw. Hinata nodded as she went toe-to-toe with Suigetsu despite the boy's strength and range because of his blade. But she didn't hit him, too afraid to hurt him or not knowing if it could actually work on him. Suigetsu noticed that as he spread his arms, as she stopped right in front of him, her palm inches away from his chest. He smirked. His hand became large as he slammed it in her guts. Her eyes rolled back as she collapsed to her knees as he kicked her away. As she fell unconscious, he then heard, "This is for Hinata!" Sugetsu realized his body was turning into water against his will. What the hell? He screamed in pain as lightning then passed through him. In the real world, Sugetsu held his head in pain as Yakumo had drawn a picture of a blinded Sugetsu liquid form getting hit by electricity. Eventually from mental breakdown he fell unconscious. Yakumo approached Nat as she bowed her head in apology. Winner, Yakumo Kurama, Hayate said. As Hayate looked at the remaining names, Shinor Bermi, Susubiki, Kamazaru, and Samui. As Samui caught Naruto's gaze, as Naruto noticed her figure, damn, he remembered what Shinjo-sama said about the libido, but this was just crazy. As Hayate told him to begin, as the match started, Samui pulled out her tanto, as Susumibiki and Shino both had insects. One had bees, the other one has bugs. As the two clans did not seem to like each other, as Samui noticed that, so she stepped back to allow them to fight first. As bugs and bees rushed towards each other, until Shino moved in. She tried to dodge his punch only to fail. As she got punched in the shoulder, she staggered back, but she brought her leg up as he caught it under his arm, and flipped her over, but she kicked him right on the shoulder. She then flipped back as she shot several bees towards him. They pierced right through him only to show that he was nothing but an insect clone. As bees and insect fought once again, Shino appeared behind her and punched her back. He pulled a kunai and stabbed at her, but she disappeared on substitution. He blocked a wild swing, dodged another one, and grabbed her arm and twisted it as her kunai fell. However, she summoned a bee with an explosive note and detonated at point blank range. The only thing that remained was insect. They bit right into her and started draining her chakra. She tried fending them off, but Shino released more bugs as they sucked her chakra. She passed out from chakra exhaustion. Cool battle, said Samui, as her blade was crackling with lightning. Now surrender or your insects will get hurt. As she was right behind him, her tanto pointing towards his back. Her left palm was crackling with lightning as she pointed towards a swarm of insects. Shino glanced up, as he seemed to think about it for a while. He then spoke. It is only logical to surrender, he said. Proctor, I forfeit. As Hayate nodded, winner, Samui. As she removed her blade, the lightning vanished. As his bugs returned back to him, Hayate looked at the numbers. I'm sorry to say this, he said, but due to the odd numbers, one more one-on-one match will have to be done. He then glanced towards the board, as it came up as Orihime versus Kurama, Yakumo. Both girls went down there as they started to fight. Kunais and shurikens were thrown by Yakumo, but Orihime raised a strange golden barrier and blocked all of them. Yakumo then released her genjutsu, but nothing happened. She was confused. What? Orihime then smiled. The barrier then transformed into an orb and split through the air towards Yakumo. Yakumo tried to block, but Orihime kept on sending more balls of energy that slammed into her until she fell unconscious. Winner, Orihime! As Anko then jumped down. All the winners come down, she said, as they made their way down there. Too bad Yakumo lost, Naruto thought, but he knew it from the start though. She was low on chakra since she battled recently, not to mention her body is not free of its problem yet. But I'm interested in how that barrier blocked the genjutsu, along with her ability, he said, as he glanced towards Orihime. Each of you will draw a paper from there, said the proctor as he pointed towards a box that Anko was holding. One by one they all draw their numbers, as they started to call them out. 5, said Sasuke as they went by the order they fought in. 6, said Gaara. 3, Shikamaru said. 7, Orihime said. 8, said Samui. 2, said Narumi. 10, said Kurosaki. 4, said Rias. 1, said Naruto. 9, said Yujito. As they started to write down the names on the board, as Hayate lined them up, the first match was Naruto Namikaze versus Narumi Namikaze. The next match was Shikamaru versus Rias. The third match was Orihime versus Samui. The fourth match was Yujito versus Kurosaki. Those are the matches. Gaara will fight the winner of the first match, then Sasuke will fight the winner of the second match, and then 3 and 4 will fight, and that person will go directly to the finals, and the other two will fight again, so one will go to the finals. You all have 1 month to prepare. Good luck to you all. Most of the Genis glanced towards Naruto, who didn't look pleased one bit, as he sent a nod to Harrison before he made his way off. So fate has deemed me fit to fight my sister, huh? Well, she will fall before me, just as all the sheep has fallen before the wolf, he thought, as he made his way. Time skip. Hokage's tower. As Naruto had gotten a new mask, seeing that his old one got destroyed. As he was now at the Hokage's office, his eyes shone with annoyance and anger towards the two people next to Harrison. Leaned up against the window was none other than Kakashi as well. As there were 4 of them in the office, Naruto stepping in made 5. Naruto-kun, I would like to ask a few questions, Harrison said. As Naruto spoke, is this about Orochimaru and my newfound power and personality, he asked. The room widened their eyes. As Naruto sighed, I met that annoying snake in the second part of the exam. He had just branded Sasuke with a curse mark, so I fought him. He used a diversion to fool me, and planted a damn curse seal on me as well. Kakashi widened his eyes. Why didn't you say anything? We must seal it off immediately. You think I don't know that, said Naruto. But there's no need. The mark was destroyed, however. The memory seal, it broke. Kakashi and Harrison gasped at that, as Kushina blinked. What memory seal, she asked, as Naruto turned towards her with a scowl. After I turned 6, the beatings became very unpleasant. So much that before I went under Hokage's command, I had my memory seal away by a memory seal. A rather powerful one. But the seal Orochimaru placed on me, it interfered and broke it. As Harrison sighed. As Minato asked, what did you do to Naruto, he asked. The seal on her, it has disappeared. As Naruto smirked, oh, that's simple. I took the Kyuubi's power. What do you mean? Said Minato, confused. That is for me to know, said Naruto. He then turned towards Harrison. Hokage-sama, tomorrow, I will be leaving the village. I am going for some training. As Harrison nodded, alright, but before you go, you need to talk to the Inazaka Yamanaka heads for the marriage, and also Hayashi wishes to see you. As Naruto nodded, he then turned to Kakashi. Make sure Sasuke's curse mark is fully suppressed. I don't want to deal with that mini Orochimaru in the middle of my match, because I might kill him, he said. With that, he left the room. Time skip. At the castle, he spent the last few hours speaking to the Hyuga, Inazaka, and the Yamanaka clan heads. The only one that he agreed with was the Inazaka. She didn't care for much. Rather, she just wanted him to support her daughter in the harsh times. And not to mention her daughter would be married to a true alpha, as she talked about his wolf alias, which made him chuckle a bit. The Yamanaka was too prideful and overprotective. He was gloating about his daughter's beauty, and demanding too much things from Naruto for him to even suggest thinking about agreeing to that. For example, he wanted his clan to give them a shipment on flowers once every month. Why in the world would he do that? For what, Ino? Sure, Ino was interesting and cute, but she wasn't as strong as he wanted. Not to mention, she seemed to be turning into his fangirl, like Hinata, which he really hated. He didn't want any fangirl. Speaking of Hinata, his conversation with the Hyugas was rather interesting. He wanted to talk about the possibility of giving Hinata Naruto as his wife, which Naruto wasn't sure on. However, the advantage that Hayashi pointed out were interested, to say at least. If he married Hinata, with the way things are set up, he could have complete power over the Hyuga clan. And for the future war, that would be rather good. All Hayashi asked was wanted Naruto to take care of Hinata, also protect his clansmen. And he wanted him to do something as well, kill the Hyuga elders. For the plans to work, he would think about it later. Naruto glanced towards Zabuza, as he was resting on the couch. Yo, Zabuza, he said. From what I learned, the new Mizukage will be coming to watch the Chunin exams, in order to set up an alliance with Konoha. I hear that she will also bring a new ninja swordsman off the mess. Zabuza grinned at that. Well, no, I can't wait for the exams. Haku, he said. Come, we're gonna start training so next time you won't lose. As Haku sighed and nodded. Alright, those two know have something to do, said Naruto, as he made his way. Time skipped, outskirts of the hidden leaf, as he waited for Gaara to come, knowing that he got the messenger from the bird. As it was early in the night, the moon has just risen. As he then felt it, sand appear as it came up, as Gaara appeared out of it. What do you want? Said Gaara, as Naruto smiled. Naruto then blinked out of view as he appeared in front of Gaara. Your mother, he said, as he then slammed his fist into his gut, the sand armor cracking under the force. Gaara was blown back as tentacle of sands rushed towards Naruto. He blew them away with nothing but raw chakra as he appeared behind Gaara and grabbed his head and slammed it into a tree. Gaara growled as a wave of sand shot out. Lightning exploded from Naruto's hand as he tore right through it and slammed right into Gaara's shoulder, causing him to bleed. Blood. My blood! Gaara screamed to the heavens as Naruto then gripped his head. As Gaara's eyes widened, as the world turned white. In Gaara's mindscape, he got up rather quickly as he snapped his gaze around. Where are you? He said as he tried to find Naruto, but the place was filled with sand. Where am I? In your mind, said Naruto as he appeared out of nowhere. The sand then shifted as it formed a colossal tanuki with blue markings all over its body. A 4-pointed star in each of its eyes. A massive tail behind it. Get out! Get out of my domain! This is mine, he yelled. As Naruto started to release his power, the sand started to turn into glass and crack. So you want to fight, Shikaku? He asked. As Shikaku started to release more of his chakra. No, I won't lose to you. This is my domain. This belongs to me. As he raised his head and formed an orb of purple and blue chakra together. Now die! As he released a ball of energy and shot it towards Naruto. The beam hit the ground at force and decimated where he stood. Shikaku smirked. Too slow, as Naruto appeared on top of the thing's head. Chakra cannon. He slammed his fist in Shikaku's head as it came forward with a force of chakra that slammed Shikaku's head in. As Shikaku's entire head was caved in by the blow, Naruto then leaped high in the air as he formed a spear of chakra before he dropped. He split right through Shikaku, causing the beast to collapse. Naruto then slammed his hand together before he started to yank on mid-air. Now come to me. Shikaku's body started to break apart before chakra started to fly inside of Naruto's body. As Naruto inhaled it all, he then turned towards the shocked Gaara. You can sleep now. Fight with all that you got in the exams. As he left the mindscape, time skip, as Naruto appeared in a room. The lights were off. As he glanced at Yujito in the bed, approaching her without even making a sound, he lifted the sheets. She was only in a sports bra and blue shorts. As he saw the seal, he placed one hand on it and another one on her forehead. Inside her mind, the place was certainly unique and inspired after the Bichu, just like Gaara mindscape. The Nebe, the giant cat surrounded by blue flames and capable of absorbing souls if she liked, as she was surrounded by hundreds of graves in a giant cat box. The scene was a bit off, but nothing to him. But he wondered that what was a Kyuubi. Related to source, that didn't really make sense. As Yujito was lying down to the side, sleeping rather peacefully, he stepped forward. It's a pleasure to meet you in person, Monotabi, he said. You. How do you know that name, she asked. So the reincarnation of the one that you were born from. Cannot know your name, Naruto asked. She got to her feet. It can't be. Impossible, she said. Her eyes narrowed. I am Naruto, future Lord of the Nine, and I demand your submission. If you don't give it willingly, I shall take it by force. As Nibi rose, I am not like Shikaku, or Son Goku, or even Komi. I don't just fight an opponent I don't know anything about. She then jumped right in front of him. However, Shinjo, reincarnation or not, I shall not allow you to take the Hellcat Mistress without a fight. Naruto opened his arms to the side. Well then, shall we? She pounced on him and released a massive fireball, 4 times the size of him. She released like a cannon as it was a booming sound as Naruto burst through the flames, his body surrounded by a golden aura. The moment he landed, she brought her paw down, trying to crush him under her might. But Naruto grabbed it. He then pushed her back as he then appeared above her and brought her axe kick down. She roared in pain as she roared, blasting a sonic wave that blew him back. She looked in anger and surprise. How are you not hurt? My body flames burn as hot as the sun. Only Kami flames, like Amaterasu, is stronger. Naruto shook his head. You are really foolish. And I thought cats were supposed to be clever. As Naruto appeared beside her paw and crushed his foot down on it, a breaking sound could be heard. She roared and brought her other paw down, as a massive wall of water appeared in front of Naruto and blocked the attack. As her paw started to sizzle, as the fire got weakened, you keep on thinking that you're fighting an ordinary human. You know my power, you feel it, and yet you keep on believing that I possess human weaknesses, said Naruto. He raised his hand to the heavens as multiple water balls formed and started repeatedly slam inside of her. You're not fighting a human, you're fighting a Biju, the Lord of the Nine. So fight like you mean it. As she was blasted away by the sonic wave that he sent. Yujito woke up at that moment. Nibi? What's going on? She yelled. Stand back, kitten. As Yujito watches Nibi raise her head, as he started to create a Biju bomb, she then launched it towards him with all her might. As Naruto raised a hand and caught the orb, it tried to push him back, but he started to step forward. Nibi then created another Biju bomb, but this one, it was spewed like a beam as she shot it right into the first one. It exploded until a golden aura surrounded the explosion as it started to be forced back together. As Naruto slowly but surely closed his palm, as the attack was being forced back together by the golden orb, as he trapped it inside. Here, have this back. Chakra eruption as he turned and launched it. Nibi's eyes went wide as she was hit. Boom! The attack sent her sailing away. She crashed down. As Naruto stepped towards her, she was bleeding, her flames dying down rather badly. Naruto appeared right in front of her face. Tell me, who do you serve? He said. She dropped to the ground. The Lord of the Nine, the ear of the Shinju. As Naruto patted her on the head. Good kitten, he said. As flames, she burst into it and flew into his body. As Naruto roared to the heavens, his body growing larger and steam rolling off him. He then turned towards Yujito. Sorry for the inconvenience. Oh, good luck in the exams. He then snapped his finger. Memory eraser. As he was gone, her eyes became dull as she fell back asleep, unaware of anything going on. Time skip. At Naruto's castle, as Naruto sat in his room, blue flames, rings of sand, and a red aura surrounded his body, as he sat calmly, until they disappeared as he stood up. He then moved towards his desk, where there was a map of the elemental nation. Alright, I now got Kurama, Shigaku, Manitobi. 3 down, 6 remaining. Konoha and the Sand don't have any. So, Kumo, they still have the Hakubi Jinchuriki, who is a full Jinchuriki, known as a perfect Jinchuriki, because of his bond with his beast. I would prefer to fight him in the real world, not a mindscape. Besides, the fight will draw many hits, so I need to go to Kiari, and the Hidden Stone as well. The Hidden Stone will be easy. Their Jinchurikis are hated and live in remote locations. All I need to do is take down the Anbu observers, and then fight the Bijus. As for Kiari, the Sanbai was killed. The Rokubai is a traveler though. But, they were all far away from him. No matter where he began either, he will have to cross water. He will send spies to find the location of the Sanbai and the Rokubai. This way most of the month will pass with the travel, rather than searching, he thought to himself. As he then sliced his palm open, blood started to flow out as he stopped his regeneration. He then went through Handslime, blood clone. The blood separated into 4 pieces and formed 4 clones made from his blood. The technique took a lot of chakra and blood to form. They have 1/10 of the user's power, and the amazing thing was they could regenerate their chakra, and not to mention they had to hit a lethal attack to die. Simple punches and kicks won't dispel them like a regular clone. Also, they could pass their memories on without dispelling. Alright, you're to go to Water Country and search for the 2 Bijus. You're to be disguised. 2 of you go for the Sanbai, the other 2 for the Rokubai. Once you find it, send me back the information, and until I give the message to reverse summon me back to the location, you are to continue to monitor it. Understood? They all nodded. Alright, begin. With that, they disappear in a burst of speed. I got a month. I hope it takes them at least 2 to 3 weeks to find them. That will give me enough time to go to Earth Country, grab their Bichu and control their power, and then go to Waterfall Country and do the same for the Nanabe. Then, on the final week, I hope to get both Water Country Bijus and then master them. If I do this earlier than scheduled, I will start to do some research on things for the future, he thought, as he rose, sealing some scroll and a few clothing away, preparing for his trip. He went to his armor and grabbed some blades and some other things, as he sealed all of them away in one scroll. As he grabbed the writing blade, "I haven't used you yet, have I?" With a nod to himself, he pushed Chakra in the blade, his eyes glowing. Bright light erupted from the blade, crackling with power as he swung it around. "I will use you soon," he said, as it disappeared into the seal on his palm. He then went to his bed to get some, rest, before he would head out tomorrow for the hunt. But guys, be in subscribe right here. If you want to see the next person, do like, subscribe, comment down below, turn on that bell notification, stay posted. Remember, share to all of your friends in social media platform, and also go ahead and check out the brand new episode of What If Naruto was created by the Otsutsuki clan, guys, and enjoy that. And also stay tuned for a brand new episode coming over on Anime King. And yes, remember, if you're new, I indeed have 3 channels: Anime King, Anime King 2, and Anime King 3, which I post What If on every single day. Yes, you heard that correctly, every single day for you guys to enjoy. So you get 3 What Ifs a day. So go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all of your help and support. Remember to comment down below and tell me if you're new. I'll be planning talking back to all of you. And yeah, without further ado, what do you say we get the hell out of here? I'll see you guys over in Anime King. Peace.